It's time for the Douglas Coleman Show. Mr. Smooth and Savvy is joined by guests from all walks of life, from the entertainment industry to authors to political and social commentators, the famous and not so famous, the controversial and the light and fluffy. We have it all. Now, here's Douglas Coleman.
Well, hello there. Welcome to the Douglas Coleman Show. It's me, Douglas Coleman, as always. How are you? Thank you for joining us. Michael DeVorzon is here today. Michael is an actor. He's the star of the A&E's new film, Her Deadly Groom, which premiered on Lifetime July 26th. And I think it's available now on Amazon Prime and Google Play. He will be up. He'll tell us about the film and about working in the business. His TV credits include Beverly Hills 90210, Melrose Place, Passion's Son of a Beach, as well as other shows that he has worked on in one capacity or another. After the interview, we have a special musical feature by Robert Moreno, who has been featured on this show several times with various tracks that he has written, as well as being a great songwriter and producer. He is also a supporter of the Douglas Coleman Show, which we appreciate very much. So we're pleased to play his new track called Come On and Hold On, and it's got a very Beach Boy-ish kind of feel to it. Real up-tempo, bright, happy kind of song. Good stuff. Always happy to play Robert's tracks. So with that, we will be right back with Michael DeVorzon.
You're listening to Mr. Smooth and Savvy right here on the Douglas Coleman Show. We'll be right back after these commercial messages.
Hi there, this is Stuart Epps, record producer. This is my story about Elton John, working with him in those early years, going back to 1967 at Dick James, all the amazing tours, those first recordings, going through to Rocket Records, and it's an amazing story about his incredible rise to stardom and my part in that. So look forward to taking you on that journey. So here we go. Yeah, and to order this great audio CD, please just email me at stuartepps@talk21.com. That's Stuart, Stuart, Epps, EPPS, at talk, TALK, 21 in figures.com. Stuart Epps at talk21.com. Email me and I'll give you all the details for buying this brilliant audio disc. Thank you. Bye.
DJC Music and DJC Productions are pleased to announce a brand new website. We have started a listing website for radio show hosts as well as potential show guests. This is a meeting site where hosts and guests can come together. Show hosts can list their show and types of guests they're interested in booking. Potential guests can list their talents, bio, accomplishments, or anything they feel makes them an interesting radio show guest. There are no recurrent payments, only a one-time $5 listing fee. Your listing will stay up until you decide to cancel. Previous guests of the Douglas Coleman Show are welcome to submit their guest listing free of charge. Go to radiohostsandguests.com. That's radiohostsandguests.com.
Tired of living in a culture of lies, fake news, and alternative facts? The Pro-Truth Pledge reverses the tide of lies by calling on politicians, and everyone else, to commit to truth-oriented behaviors. The pledge asks signees to commit to 12 behaviors that research in behavioral science shows lead to truthfulness, such as clarifying one's opinions and the facts, citing one's sources, and celebrating people who update their beliefs toward the truth. Private citizens who sign the pledge get the benefit of contributing to a more truth-oriented society. Public figures get more substantive rewards for signing the pledge in the form of positive media and public recognition. The pledge crowdsources the truth by asking volunteers to evaluate the statements of public figures who sign the pledge. Take the pledge, demand that your elected representatives do so, and encourage your friends to take it at protruthpledge.org.
Are you an independent musician? How would you like to have your songs played on hundreds of radio stations just like the one you're listening to right now? Join MusicSubmit.com and we'll promote your music to radio stations and blogs in your genre. It's free to set up your account, and we guarantee your music will be considered for airplay by radio stations worldwide. Why not sign up today? It's free. MusicSubmit.com. Radio promotion for indie musicians.
Hi, this is John Morgan, production supervisor for DJC Productions. You're listening to The Douglas Coleman Show.
Okay, please welcome to The Douglas Coleman Show, Michael DeVorzon. Hi, Michael. How are you?
I'm good, Douglas. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate it. I was reading through your bio, and your whole family, all the way back to your grandfather, were in show business, yeah?
Yeah, my dad's a songwriter and music composer, and then my grandfather, was a singer and a musician who played with a very old band called Rudy Vallée and the Connecticut Yankees.
Well, I've heard of Rudy Vallée. I don't remember the Connecticut Yankees, but and then you were, just before we got on, you were telling me about your Uncle Marty Allen, and so having a whole family like that in show business, is that how you got started? I mean, did they push you into that, or did they actually tell you, careful? Because, I mean, anybody who's been in the business knows it's not an easy business to get into. You really have to have a lot of courage and dedication to get into it, and to make a success of it. What did they have to say?
Yeah, well, growing up, of course, as a kid, you're young. This is my dad. That's my mom. We live here. Dad makes music. This is just kind of the way it is. And I didn't really have any, idea. He was in the entertainment business, and there's famous actors and people in the business around. It was just, as a young kid, you're kind of oblivious and just kind of adapt to the way things are. And we practiced piano and guitar, as kids, myself and my middle brother, and that was kind of mandatory. So that was really the only thing that they, enforced. They wanted us to learn piano, and they wanted us to learn guitar. And I don't think it was necessarily to go into the music business or go into the arts. In fact, my parents were always both very supportive, of my decision to go in the entertainment business. But at the same time, he was always kind of like, kid, if, this is, this is a business where very few people hit that, that certain mark. So yeah, I think, for me, I started watching the Pink Panther movies starring Peter Sellers, and that was kind of what ignited me to want to be an actor. They didn't say, why don't you try going, doing plays or anything like that. And I kind of, did some plays as a kid on my own, and people thought I kind of had a natural gift to it, and that's kind of how it got started. But they were pretty flexible. My parents were pretty cool. They were supportive, but at the same time, I think my dad had a real, even though he had a really good amount of success in the business, he always had a real sense of the reality of the entertainment business.
Well, that's just it. I mean, the reality of entertainment business is, what was it said? 1 second of glory and 50 years of misery, something like that. Where,
yeah.
For that one brief moment, you're on top of the world, but the rest of the time you're working, and, it's not easy. I mean, I've been on film sets and I've seen what they do, and, a lot of it is just kind of hanging around, and the days are long, and, all the glamour comes after the product is finished, which a lot of the actors really don't have that much to say about it. You come in, you do your bit, and you go home. And the studio sort of puts the rest of it together. But granted, you get to ride on the coattails of that, which is nice. They sort of put you out in front. Yeah, it's not an easy business. And I've interviewed other people who had famous parents and parents who were successful in the industry. And I haven't heard that many say, oh, my father really pushed me into this. No, they were like you said, they were supportive, but they had a realistic attitude of what it's going to take. So do you remember your first paid gig? What was that?
So yeah, my first paid gig was on the TV show Melrose Place.
Oh, well, that's a famous show. What did you do there?
Well, I actually started my first job in Hollywood, not as an actor, was in production. And living in Santa Barbara at the time, I went down and interviewed for the job on the show Melrose Place. I didn't know really of the show. I think I had heard, this is kind of a new up-and-coming hot show. And I was lucky enough to get the job. So I spent 3 seasons there behind the scenes, learning about production, and started studying acting at the same time. And so after, I don't remember if it was after a couple of seasons or I started studying acting, and I had expressed, that I had some interest in transitioning it to being in front of the camera. So I got a crack at it. I had to audition for it, and it worked out. Yeah, it was a small role. In fact, the first role I did on Melrose Place, it ended up on the cutting floor. It was just one of those scenes. It was a small scene, and I came in, and on the first take, I dropped part of my props, and everyone started laughing, and we were all like family. They were good sports, but I learned in a 1-hour drama, you need to hold on to your props. If it was a sitcom, I could have dropped my props and then been like, "Oh, excuse me, Mr. Penn, here, will you sign this?" Like I was a flower delivery guy. So, anyways, we got the scene. It was one of those scenes that ended up getting cut, and then I got another crack at it, and did a scene with Heather Locklear and another actor. It was a small role, but that made the cut, and that was my first paid gig.
What was it that you almost dropped? The flowers?
Well, so I was delivering. So the very first shot was I was a flower delivery guy. So I had flowers and I had a clipboard and a pen, and I was delivering the flowers to not Andrew Shue, but Courtney Thorne Smith. But they were both standing there together, and it was kind of an awkward moment because they were together, and why was she getting flowers and stuff like that. So I came in and I had a line, and I was supposed to get her to sign for the flowers. So instead of getting her to sign for the flowers, I dropped the pen on the floor. And I learned early on in acting school, like, you just keep going. You don't just stop. You keep going. If the director yells cut, then you stop. And it's obviously, if you're on stage, you can't just stop the production. So
right.
So I was trained that way. So I dropped the pen on the floor, and I just leaned down and picked up the pen. And by then, everybody, they were all laughing. So they said, "Oh, go, let's go again. Let's go again. Don't drop the pen this time."
Probably a good scene. I can't imagine why they would cut that out.
It would have added a nice little flair of comedy to
certainly
the drama of Melrose Place.
So now you're starring in an A&E show called Her Deadly Groom. Tell me about this show.
Correct. Yes.
Tell me about the show and your character.
So it's a movie. It's a
movie.
It's a thriller.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a movie. I did see something. I think it was out on Google Play, and it said something like episode 1, and I was like, okay, this is not a show, but yeah. So I think sometimes the information out there gets
I thought it was a show the way I read it, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it did say show on some sites. So it's a movie. It's a Lifetime thriller, and it premiered Sunday night, and it's a fun movie. I mean, it's got lots of twists and turns, and I think it keeps you on the edge of your seat. And I played the villain in the story, a character by the name of Vincent Black, who's going by an alias, and he is presenting himself. He meets this this girl named Allison, played by Kate Watson, on a dating app, but he has her as a mark, and he's a con man. And so basically he presents himself as this ideal guy, and very successful and charming and likable and warm, and he presents himself in this light in order to earn the trust of the female lead. And in reality, he's a con man, and he's dangerous, and he's a psychopath, and he's a cold-blooded killer. So you have these two sides of the character, and it's established pretty early on that he's a deadly guy. And so you kind of watch this romance unfold, and as beautiful as I think some of the moments are, you really know, my God, this guy is really a dangerous killer. So it's kind of I think torture for the audience, and that's kind of the story. And so it's kind of the storyline of teetering between the romance between these two characters and me taking people out left and right along the way who are getting in the way of what I want.
So, do you have a preference to play the good guy or the bad guy?
I like to play both. I mean, the movie that came out before this one, May 19th, which is an action movie I did with DMX called Fast and Furious Death Race. I got to play the hero. He's not your typical hero in that he's a badass. He's kicking ass and taking names, but he's a good guy, and he's trying to save the day, and he's trying to help people that are in trouble with this dangerous crime boss. So that was really nice. I mean, but I have to admit, playing a villain of this degree of debauchery was very fun. Yeah, I played some villains, usually guys that are complicated. They're not just straight villain psychopaths. They're white collar guys who are maybe capable of causing harm at different times. But this guy was a straight villain, except for I had to show this other light romantic side. But yes, it was a lot of fun to play the menacing scenes because you're gonna kind of get to unleash the beast inside yourself and tap into the inner turmoil of a character that's this mad, and that can be very cathartic. And there's a lot of action in some of those scenes, and that's always fun and a unique experience.
Was there a lot of blood in this, or is it more implied violence?
Yes, I would say yes. Implied violence. There's very, very little blood, very little blood and gore.
So you know what happens, but you
just don't. There's a lot of people falling.
Okay.
There's a lot of people falling down and getting hurt. Whether they live or die, you'll have to see. But yeah, we kind of left the blood and gore out.
So no severed heads or anything like that.
Yeah, no severed heads or guts falling out or blood spurting out of the head. Yeah, it's kind of all like, oh wow, okay, that guy just died.
So this premiered on Lifetime on Sunday, and then if somebody wants to see it, where do they go to check this out?
So it is airing again on Lifetime this Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Which would be August 2nd. Yeah, so there is a second airing, and I don't know if there will be additional airings after that. So this Sunday, August 2nd, it airs for a second time. And then it is available on, as of Monday, the 27th, just a couple of days ago, it is available on Amazon Prime Video as well as Google Play.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm never quite sure where things go because Lifetime is a cable channel, if there is still such a thing. And, I know that they do movie specials and all that, but I never can quite figure out where they go after they've been on. But I guess they go where every other movie goes. They just go to VOD. Yeah.
You and me both, Douglas. Yeah, I'm like, how did they get? Yeah, so I'm not quite sure how it works, but But I have news for you. I'm going to find out because I actually did a romantic comedy some years ago, and at the time there was no streaming, hadn't really hit like it hit. So I'm going to look into seeing if that can be available for stream. But yeah, all I know is the movie premiered Sunday night on Lifetime, and then the next day I looked and it was suddenly on Amazon Prime. So I thought, I'm not quite sure how that happened. I'm sure they have a method to their madness.
Well, it's a good thing. I mean, I love streaming now because you can just watch what you want, when you want. And I don't know of too many people these days that make it to watch something at a specific time. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that do, but I don't know. For my schedule, I like, I want to watch that one I just heard about, and it's just 3 a.m. Okay, no problem, I think it's great. I mean, I think it's opened up a whole nother market. But, some people don't like it. I know my mother can't get into it. She still wants to watch her show at 8 p.m.
She wants to watch live?
Well, she just wants to watch at a specific time. It's like this is her time to watch TV. And then,
okay,
do you know what I mean? That she's just of that generation where a show came on, you had to be there in front of the set at a specific time to watch it. And
old school,
yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, no, well, I think you're right, though. I mean, I think in this day and age, I look, other than sports.
Right. Yeah, sports is an exception.
I really don't know how many people watch things in live time. I think you're 100% right. I think most people DVR their favorite programs, and favorite programs, or they stream a movie or VOD.
Yeah.
When they want to watch it, that's the day and age. I remember I did this commercial for ZipRecruiter, which was a really huge spot that ran for a couple of years, and I was like the spokesman and restaurant owner in it. And they ran it on sports, and they ran it on news, and they ran it on some other stuff, but that was their thing because they were like, this is basically the last two places, live sports and the news where people are most likely not going to DVR it. And skip through it. So
the other thing that's interesting about that is that the younger the person is, the smaller the device gets that they watch on. Like, I really can't watch a movie on a phone. It doesn't work for me. I need at least a flat screen TV that's 40 inches or so. But, I've seen the kids that are 15, 16, and they'll watch a whole movie on this little tiny 2-inch screen and not think anything of it. There is a direct proportion.
That's painful to think about.
Well,
I am with you 100%. Yeah, I can't even listen. I have a pretty sizable computer, and even watching a movie on the computer, there's no comparison to watching it on a TV. It's a completely different experience. I mean, and like you said, watching it on a phone, never. I've never seen anything on a phone. I may have seen a scene. I may have seen a scene or a 10-minute short film, but sounds like walking on nails.
Yeah, not for me. Anyways, yeah, we got to wrap this up, unfortunately. My guest is Michael DeVorzon. Please check out his new movie, Her Deadly Groom, which premiered July 26th on Lifetime. It is now available, as you said, on Amazon Prime. Thanks so much for coming on. This was fun. Enjoyed talking to you. Best of luck. Do you got a website or something you want to give out so people come check you out?
Don't have a website at the time, but I'd love to connect with anybody. And my Instagram and Twitter is Michael DVZ. Michael DVZ. So
DVZ.
That's the best place to find me.
You sound like a rapper DVZ. With that name. Yeah. Michael DVZ.
DVZ, coming to you. Well, that was actually my nickname at Melrose Place.
Oh,
they said my last name DeVorzon. This is too complicated. Let's make them DVZ.
Oh, all right. So, Well, cool. Well, Michael, thanks a lot. Nice talking to you. Take care. Best of luck.
Thanks, Douglas. Appreciate it.
Come on and hold on, sweet baby. Come on now, hold on. We can make everything alright. My mind is whirling round and round in my head. Tell me, how does it feel for you? Girl, I remember all the things that you said. Told me that our love was real for you. Yeah, you pull me in fast and deep, but whenever we both disagree, well, you turn around and walk out on me. Come on, come on, come on and hold on, sweet baby. Come on now, baby. Come on and hold on, sweet baby. Come on now, hold on. We can make everything alright. If there is something I said or done, say the word and I'll apologize. But sometimes foolish pride can get it all wrong, and to get undone, well, that just ain't right. Don't you realize it's all compromise? Why not come here and sit by my side? Why not take time to take things in stride? Come on, come on, come on and hold on, sweet baby. Come on now, baby. Come on and hold on, sweet baby. Hold on now, baby. Come on and hold on, take it easy. Come on now, hold on. We can make everything alright. It'd be a waste of time and such a shame if your storming out is all for show. I wonder if you're playing some kind of game, making like you got somewhere to go. Don't be thinking love's just a pleasant fiction. Well, wouldn't that be a sin? Why can't we